Well, I'm working on a Sunday, Father's Day, trying to get a car done for a school in Colorado that's teaching a automotive class. So for me, that's a massive priority, and I've got to get it done by the end of the month. This is June something 15th. Otherwise, it messes up their budget, and he's going to lose his budget. So I figured if I'm building this, and I'm so concerned about getting this to a school so that we can teach young people how to do this, I might as well share how to do it with y'all. So what I'm doing, this is a 23T extended body, 2 doors. This is kind of how it comes before comes out of the body shop and comes down. I'm going to put an insert in it. Here's the insert on the floor. I've already trimmed the body some. You can kind of see here, I've trimmed some of the pieces around the back. Show you a little better. So I've measured and trimmed this out. So I want a consistent line. You can see my old man scribbles, but the way I did the line, this is easy. You can make a scribe and run it along that with a board and a piece, or you can just take and just hold your finger about right where it goes, pull the top off, of course, and pull a line, and then you'll be pretty consistent around that. Had it trimmed down in there. So I'm going to put the battery box first. That will go on your passenger side, and you can see our floor doesn't have plywood in it. It's got this Plascore, it's a honeycomb material, and you can see it's fiberglass on the floor with the honeycomb material and more fiberglass. So the reason I'm cutting it out like this is so when I put my battery box in, you see the lip on the battery box, I'll polybond it in, it'll drop in, and then it'll sit flush into the floor. So I'm going to polybond that in. I'm going to cut some wood for around the edges of the doors. I'll do that next, and then we'll bond them in. Let that set for a minute, and then we will put the insert in. So we'll see how far I get today, but I think I'll do videos while I'm here. All right, so I've got it cleaned up. All I do is scrape all that plastic out of there. I've still got a good fiberglass floor on it, so when I tell you it's got fiberglass, plastic, honeycomb, and fiberglass, you can kind of see what I'm talking about now. I'm going to sand all this, and we'll sand the back side of this real well. This will drop in, and you can kind of see it's pretty even across there now. When I polybond that in, that'll be it'll be just like it belongs there. And while I'm working on this, I'm thinking, why in the world have I not put that battery box in the mold years ago? So when we build the floor, it's already in there. We don't have to do this. So I would be doing that right now, and I would much rather be doing that. But instead, I'm working on a Sunday, Father's Day, trying to get this car done so we can get it to the school. Because there is such a lack of help out there. Unbelievable. So much for my whining. I'm going to build my wood now and show you how that goes in. All right, so I've got my wood pieces cut. Just kind of trimmed a little bit around so when it fits up in there, it fits tight. I'm going to polybond it all. I used a combination of table saw and band saw. You know, sometimes safety is just common sense. So as you can see, I still have 5 there, and I still have 5 there, so that's a good thing. Maybe did some things on the table saw I shouldn't have, but it works out pretty good. So carefully cut your wood, get it to fit as best you can. Next step on this is go ahead and sand everything, and I'm going to start polybonding. So while I get ready for that, my next little take here may be a rant, because as I'm sweating here, thinking about a teacher, educator that told me, when I asked him, why don't we do an industry certification in that field? I won't say the teacher's name, I won't say the school, and I won't say the field even. The answer for why we don't do industry certifications at some of our tech schools, it's too hard. It's just a lot easier to give somebody a diploma, because we decide, here, you showed up and you made an effort, so you get a diploma. Where an industry certification is a little bit different. So looking for some people, whether they got a certification or a diploma, that don't matter to me. I just need some common sense and a job work ethic. So we'll start with there and train somebody with common sense. So I got my rant out. I'll just polybond next take. Okay, this should be interesting. A one-handed, left-handed, because I want to mix with my right hand, polybond presentation. So this is what we call polybond. I don't know if that's the brand at this point, but bottom line, it's a polyester resin with some other stuff in there. Who knows what? But stiffeners and hardeners, and then we activate it. When people say fiberglass, all fiberglass is the strand. I'm sure we got some over here. This is fiberglass. But if you just had fiberglass, I mean with no binders in there, you would have a floppy piece of fiberglass. The active, what you put in that is a polyester, so you activate that, you activate it with a methyl ketone peroxide. Peroxide is the active ingredient. I didn't realize there's just a small amount of peroxide in here, but peroxide is like very volatile, very explosive. It's almost like nitroglycerin. You can't even ship it without, you got to be very, very careful. So you use about 1.5% in my precise measuring here. And 1.5% would be about 28 cc's per quart, or something more realistic would be 3/4 of a shot glass per quart. I'm going to be pretty close here, and that would be 1.5%. You want to be between 1 and 3%. It's a hot day today. This has got a activator in it, or I'm sorry, a dye in it. So it's a vanishing red dye. So this is going to turn pink as I mix it. If you're doing this, be very careful. You know, you don't want this to splash in your eyes. If it does get on your skin, the red that's going to be on your skin is probably not from the dye. It will burn you. It's probably the worst chemical we have. So as I mix it in, start getting careful to get it going, and then just thoroughly mix it till it's pink everywhere. And then go ahead, and you have a work time. It's like Bondo, but not. You have a work time of about 10-15 minutes. So it works out really well. It comes out of the marine industry. It's like for putting transoms and things like that together, but it works really well for our purpose. So let me get it mixed, and we'll put them pieces of wood in and that battery box in. All right, so I spread Polybond in all the areas. Went ahead and changed my gloves. Seeing how it's kind of messy, I don't want to tear up my phone. So at least I'll be able to show you how it just sits in there. I've got, I think, what is enough to get everything set. Once I get it put in, I want to push it in and smash it in a bit. Stick the boards in, smash them in a bit. Oh, there we go. Same thing, I'll put all the boards in, and then I think I'll show you what it looks like and then spread them around a little bit. All right, so I have installed the wood, installed the battery box, had just the right amount of Polybond actually, and kind of it's helpful to watch a YouTube video or have someone explain it to you, but to mix that much Polybond and do what I just did with it, and to have just the right amount, it helps to have spread probably thousands of gallons of Bondo in my lifetime. So you just can't beat experience. That's just, it's one thing to think, you know, watch a YouTube video or get yourself a piece of paper from a school. But we've got to learn what it means to be an apprentice for a bit, and then maybe a journeyman, and ultimately, after a lot of years, become a master. We've kind of lost that in our culture. With AI coming on as fast as it is, I'm afraid that a lot of these young people that are spending all this money on school are going to find out that middle management, those analyst jobs, all them jobs, even teacher jobs, are just not going to be needed anymore. But I'm not sure how long it's going to take for Elon Musk robots and AI to learn how to spread Bondo, but I think I'm safe for my lifetime anyway. I'm a little bit bummed. One of our customers, I guess it was a customer, maybe not a customer, just somebody that watches, sent me this awesome t-shirt. I mean, it's awesome. And I can't remember who did it. So if you're watching this video and you sent me this t-shirt, thanks. And actually tell me, hey, I sent you this t-shirt, jerk. Can't you remember my name? I would really like to remember who sent it. But you know what I did? I got me a little bit of Polybond on it down here, and I am going to go focus on getting that off because, man, this is not one of them shirts. Where's this other little bit here? Well, anyway, this is not one of them shirts that I want to get ruined. So, we got to keep it this way. I got my Frog Polly's hat. We're fixing to go to Frog Polly's. We may talk about that in a little bit, but right now it's time for me to clean up and maybe go to lunch. So far I'm about an hour and a half into this project. So that'll give you some time frame. Of course, we've done quite a few of them. So if you're doing it this home, we do sell a DIY kit. And I think I'll go ahead and clean up, go into makeup and get some powder on my nose for the next shot. All right, so I'm back from a quick lunch break, actually about an hour and a half, which was nice and air conditioned over at the pizza joint. You can see this is kind of hard now. It's a little bit tacky. I could probably stick my nail in there if you can see I gouged that out some, but it's still pretty hard. I got that hard. Now our insert, we make one insert for the extended and one for the regular, and it comes like this. So if you don't want any doors, it's the same insert as the one that's if you do want doors. So what I'm going to do, you can kind of see it's tied up in this area. I'm going to trim all this out, and then I need to cut the door out. So what I'm going to do is just mark the door with the marker, kind of where it goes. I'll go around, do that, trim it up, make it fitting better, and then time to install it. So give me a moment and I will trim that out and we'll look and see what we got. So we got it in, got it out a couple times, pre-fit, test fit, making sure it's going to work. Next thing, make sure you got all the right clamps and everything ready to go. So once we put the Polybond on here, I'm going to clamp it together, get it fitting right, pull them edges in, and let her kick and dry overnight. And tomorrow morning we'll get on it again. All right, so I put my Polybond down. You can see I've got it on the wood, on the edges, around the top. Try to make it as clean as I can. I didn't really go over the edge here. I'll show you a trick for keeping it clean when we do the body work, but that's going to squish down in there. I also put a couple blobs where the floor is going to be. That way I'm going to press that down, and when you feel the floor, since it's 2 layers there, it won't feel like it's loose, and it'll just bond it in there. So now it's time to set that insert in and get it fitting. So it probably took me from maybe 7 to 10 minutes to actually mix the Polybond, put the insert in, clamp the insert, get it down. Consistency is the name of the game here. You want it to be the same width all the way around. Pretty important. What I did here, I put some screws in to pull the top down, and you can see it. I had it all done, and I went to just clean up an edge that was just sticking up. And this is very, very soft still, but as I tried to wipe that, it just started to kick. So I had under 10 minutes to get it done. So I'll trim all that out. What you see down there, we'll trim that up a little bit more on Monday morning, tomorrow morning, and I'll just fiberglass that. Fiberglass around the edges. And there you go, you have an insert in. I think I'm about done. Well, there's maybe one more thing I need to do today, but I think we're about done with getting the insert in. All right, well, I guess the end of the day, there's a couple hours of light left. I got some work done. I got the insert done. I was pretty impressed. It took about, corporate is behind the camera here. You were on the roof fixing leaks. How long did we work today?
About 3 hours.
About 3 hours. So it took about 3 hours to put the insert in and put the battery box. Not that big a deal. We do a DIY body. Much rather show you a DIY body because we are definitely busy in the body shop. But I think we had a couple hours. You're going to go on the boat? I'm going to go on the dock. I'm not a lake guy, but I'm going to be at least on the lake for today with my kids and some grandkids. Not all of them, but most of them.
Time to enjoy the rest of the day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all of you, yeah.